chapter 3 in this masterclass is on transforming the operating model. So Jason, what difference does the cloud actually make?
Well, I think we've already heard about the capabilities and characteristics that cloud offers, from self-service to fully automated for pay-per usage and so on. It's fundamentally different from the way IT has been run in the past. And what that means is that it's not just a case of changing the technology, which a lot of IT departments are very good at. They also need to focus on how they change the way that they run the technology. And it's a fundamental change. And I always call it the people process changes that need to happen. Now what this actually means is that if you are going to move as an IT department to providing services and not bits of technology building blocks and presenting those out to the business, the first thing that IT needs to do is they need to understand how to articulate a service. Is it the right service? What's the service level? How would they cost it? And indeed, is it in fact a service that the business would want to consume? The second thing they need to think about is how would they move away or move to a mixed model of effectively pay-per usage. Typically most IT organisations run cost centres, so it's a bit like having the huge cost of IT and dividing it up between people. But we're introducing variability potentially into how IT costs itself. They also need to think about the people roles, the people skills, and also the organisational structure they have. Most IT organisations typically are organised around technology domains. For example, if you're offering out a service that's composed of multiple technology building blocks, if it goes wrong, who's responsible? You tend to get circular finger pointing because there isn't any ownership. And that's where introducing a service layer or a service orientated organisation is important. And as we move towards provisioning these processes, so these services far more quickly, going from months to days, the actual processes that IT use internally have to be transformed. IT departments spend a lot of time looking at automating processes. What they don't often do is looking at analysing those processes and seeing if they're actually fit for purpose. And I always use the analogy that you can take a bad process and automate it, and all you do is you do bad stuff quickly and consistently badly. So it's important that IT looks at reorganising or redesigning their processes for this new era. In terms of what that means to the business and business consumers, is that effectively what business consumers are looking for, and they're no different really now than consumers in the home, they're looking to consume IT without actually having to talk to anyone in IT, fundamentally. They want to go to a service catalogue, they want to pick something, they want to understand the price, and they want it delivered there and then. No one wants to go to an app store if you've got a mobile phone, select Angry Birds and wait for 6 months for the thing to download. Yeah. So, people are looking for immediate fulfillment of what they want. And in terms of, automation is actually a very key point to achieving that agility. And as I mentioned, the first step in addressing automation is not just automating something, it's looking at the process that you're going to automate and actually redesigning it. And that in itself is not an easy thing, because quite often these processes don't have a single owner. You're essentially telling someone that the process that they've spent their life designing is really not fit for purpose. And there's a lot of internal challenges there around actually getting to that point. And a lot of the processes that we're looking to automate ultimately are driven by people. So you're trying to take people out of the equation and actually use something that we term policy-based automation, which is where you're building intelligence into the automation and rules that are based on business, security, compliance, and other things to actually take the right decision.
Okay, so Frederick, is that something you agree with? Is it people that are a problem, not the technology?
It's not so simple, I would say, but just to complement what has been said as well, I can see if I met customers as well. You've got the technologies is one thing, but you've got the processes and the people, and that's the most difficult part as well to change. Because as what you said as well, cloud is everybody is talking about cloud, but most of the enterprise today, 80% of the enterprise, they are still organized by silo. They still have teams taking care of servers, storage, networking, and everything. And we need to change that, but you can't do that like that. And we need to reskill the people or to add new people with new skills, and that's the most difficult part. And because, and everything, as I said, we said as well, it's going to be software now driven, because we need to abstract everything below the software, but you need to have new skills of doing that. That's the reason why automation is going to be critical for the future. And I think the most difficult part is to reskill the people and to add new people with new skills. Because if you take any young people getting out of the school now, they don't want to work on server, on storage, and they want to work with the software, but you need to have the right balance. And of course, that VMware and EMC, we are providing all this kind of expertise to help the company to transform themselves. When we talk about transformation, it's not only the technology, it's the people and the processes.
Okay, Elliot, can you give any examples?
Yeah, well, I think a key thing that Jason was saying is that when you look at how services are architected now, they're much more aligned to what the business actually needs. You know, previously we would have looked in the service catalogue to say something like, well, I'll provision a new item of compute or a virtual machine or provision some storage. And now actually in the hybrid solution with the full enablement of the service catalogue, we're looking at business-facing services. And to give you an example from the financial services world, a customer we're working with in the Middle East, they've gone to the stage where as they grow out their retail banking network, they want to bring on new branches online. And in their service catalogue, they literally have an entry that says branch as a service. Right? So you go into the service catalogue, you say, I want to establish a new branch in this location. The branch manager is going to be this person, the house account for the financial transactions is going to be this account, and from there the automation kicks in to provision the individual components, and then the orchestration comes in to take care of the workflows and actually provision everything that's required on the IT side to create a new retail banking branch. Right, so here is an item where even 1 or 2 years ago, you might not have expected to see branch as a service in the catalogue, but it's actually becoming a reality now.